What's up, PTB Nation? Welcome to another episode of Parking the Bus here on the PTB Media Network. I'm your host today, as always, the Mr. Mike Agustino on a special Tuesday edition of Parking the Bus. Today, we're talking about the Euro Leagues. We're going across the big five Euro Leagues, and we're starting in Serie A. We'll get started there. There's a lot to talk about in the Serie A, so there's also, there's the Cristiano Ronaldo story. You must have all heard by now. Benched in this game. Did he ask for it? Did Allegri decide it himself? They go back and forth on what the real story is. We really don't know right now, so I'll get into that in just a moment. We'll also go around the other big five leagues, of course, the Premier League, the La Liga, the Bundesliga, and France's Ligue 1, as this European season finally underway everywhere. Okay, everybody is playing now. The leagues are off and running, and you can already see teams starting to put themselves in a good position, starting to put themselves in a position to contend for the higher spots in the table. Yes, it's early, but dropping points sets you back. Yeah, there's plenty of time to recover, but there's a lot of football to be played. But you never want to lose contact with the leaders too early. So without further ado, a quick word here from Anchor for those of you listening on the podcast, those of you watching live right now on Twitter, on Facebook, and on www.parkingthebusmedia.com and on YouTube. We'll be right back. This will be a real quick pause. Remember, go right over there to the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Hit subscribe and subscribe to the Parking the Bus Media Network or the PTB Media Network. Okay, hit the little bell next to it so you get alerted whenever I go live. And I am the Mr. Mike Agustino, as said, and you can follow me on Twitter at Mike Agustino. That's at MikeAgostinho. All right. You can follow all my tweets there, and you can interact with me if you want. That's where I'm doing most of my tweeting, but you also want to follow this show at PTB_media on Twitter and at the same PTB_media handle on Instagram. All right, real quick break. We will be right back. And welcome back. Episode 73, Parking the Bus here on the PTB Media Network. Your host, Mr. Mike Agustino, here again. And let's get right into it then. Why don't we? We're going to Serie A to get it started. It was week one, round one. Serie A returns, debuting here in the United States on Paramount Plus, and Paramount Plus is just second to none when it comes to producing football and presenting football content for all of us here in the United States of America. As I pull up the Fought Mob right now, just my first overall thoughts. Okay, the storylines coming in. Inter, okay, they lost Romelu Lukaku. That was a big story that happened not that long ago in the lead up to the start of the season. Okay, he was in camp, he was there training, and they were very close to having him this season. But at the last moment, as the window was beginning to approach its closing in England, Romelu Lukaku goes for a large transfer fee back to Chelsea Football Club in England. We'll talk about him later in the episode because his name will certainly come up again, and we will see how he did on his return. But we start in Serie A, like I said, as it is their opening weekend. And in addition to Inter, another storyline, another thing everyone's watching was Juventus. Well, how were they going to bounce back this season? Okay. The ongoing saga, Cristiano Ronaldo. Will he stay? Will he go? We thought he was staying. We thought it was done and dusted. There'd been no word about where he might go. I still think he's staying, and I thought there was no chance he was leaving. However, now I'm a little bit more in doubt. I don't see. He just does not make sense for anybody to go break the bank to bring him in right now. And he's maybe my favorite player ever. Okay, he is the GOAT in my eyes, but it makes no sense to virtually anybody that wants any type of future to go and get this player right now, unless you're a team that has to win today. And there are two teams in Europe who fit that description, in my opinion. One is Manchester City, and he doesn't make sense there if they're going to break the bank for Harry Kane. Because even if they don't get Harry Kane today, they're going to try again in January. They're going to try again next season. You bring in Cristiano Ronaldo, first of all, to a rival club, to Manchester City, the United legend to Manchester City. That would absolutely crush me. I don't think I could ever recover from that, to be honest, as a fan. I would never get used to that. But it also doesn't make sense, as they already have too many players in those positions. And you just broke the bank to bring in Jack Grealish, and you're going to bring in Cristiano Ronaldo now to relegate Grealish, your £100 million investment, to the bench? Probably not. The other is Paris Saint-Germain, who just brought in Lionel Messi on one side. And it's all or nothing for them this year. This is why the only place that actually makes any sense for Cristiano Ronaldo to go in this offseason is to Paris Saint-Germain, especially with the traction we're getting now and the more and more snowball effect we're getting that Kylian Mbappe is going to Real Madrid, most likely. That story keeps gaining more and more momentum. So if that happens, then yes, I think Cristiano Ronaldo goes to Paris on the back end of that deal. When that cash is brought in, it's used to bring in Cristiano Ronaldo, who, as I said, it doesn't make much financial sense for teams to bring him in. But if you have the cash on hand, as PSG would in the event that they sell Mbappe, he's actually coming at a very reduced rate. Okay, Juventus are willing to let him go for less. I guess we can stay on this topic, and we'll start with Juventus. Why this is controversial? Well, here's the issue, okay? And everyone wants to blame Ronaldo, and everybody wants to blame him that he can't accept the limelight being on Messi on his transfer. I think it's a little more nuanced than that, to be honest with you. I think it has more to do with the sheer fact that Juventus want to offload him. They want him in their team from a football sense, but they need to clear his wages. Clearing Ronaldo's wages will completely allow them to rebuild this team. When they went out and they purchased his contract, when they transferred him, when they paid that fee to Real Madrid, okay, this was pre-COVID. They had no way of knowing revenue was going to hit the tank very quickly. They had no way of knowing that they wouldn't be able to afford him 3 seasons later. Okay. And now this 4th season of Cristiano Ronaldo at Juventus, financially for them is a burden. I get it. And it's a tough situation because the player's not at fault. And would any of you at your job take a pay cut to stay at your job? I sure as hell wouldn't. Maybe I hate my job, so that could be one reason. But I sure as hell would not stay making collection calls to angry customers and take a pay cut so that my company can bring in more people. No, not one bit. Okay, not one bit. So I also wouldn't load trucks for less money either, so that we could bring in more people. Yeah, we need more people in both of those jobs, but you know what? I'm not taking the pay cut. I've put in my time. I've earned what I got. And to ask a player to do that, I know that Gerard Piqué did that at Barcelona, okay, allowing Memphis Depay to be registered. Okay, listen, there's a difference because Gerard Piqué is from Barcelona. That is his club. Cristiano Ronaldo is from a tiny island in the Atlantic, Madeira. He's not from Torino. He's not from Italy. He's not a Juventus product, okay? It's different. And Ronaldo has done nothing but be an utmost professional at Juventus. He's gone there. He's scored more goals than anybody else in the history of Serie A. And that is a league with plenty of goal scorers in its history. But I think a breakup is actually what's kind of best for both sides. However, there's no suitors unless it's PSG. In my opinion, there's nobody else that can take him right now, as we've seen. We've seen Real Madrid distance themselves from him. We've seen Manchester United distance themselves from him. It makes no sense anymore for him to go to Manchester United now that Jadon Sancho is there. He's the future. Okay. You got Paul Pogba. You got Bruno Fernandes. You got plenty of wages tied up, and it doesn't make sense anymore for United to go after him. But he's very expensive to Juventus, so they kind of stuck. Both parties are stuck in a hard place. But I do believe that he's going to stay, unless PSG come in after an eventual sale of Kylian Mbappe. I think he stays at Juventus, and I think he has a good season. I think once this is out of the way, this will be forgotten, to be honest. I think he's going to go on and have a great season. I think Juventus, despite this slip up to start the season, have everything there to be competitive and to be near the top of this Serie A and to challenge for it once again. Yes, Inter started well, but it's a long season, and they're going to miss those goals from Romelu Lukaku. They're going to miss the defending from Hakimi. They're going to miss Antonio Conte on the sideline. I guarantee it. They're going to miss him. I'm no disrespect to Simone Inzaghi, but he is not Antonio Conte, in my opinion. And I think Inter will hit some struggles. Now, they struggled in Champions League last year. We'll see what happens this year as well. Let's start off. So, with that background, the Ligue, the Serie A, started Saturday early with Hellas Verona hosting Sassuolo. Sassuolo go into Verona and win 3-2 on the back of goals from, and my internet is slowing down 1 second while I swap over to the 4K on my, there we go, the 4G, excuse me, and refresh that, and I'll tell you who scored these goals for Sassuolo, celebrating the centenary anniversary. Sassuolo in the 100th anniversary. Goals from Raspadori in the 32nd, Juricic in the 51st, and Traore in the 77th. They win 3-2. Zaccagni has 2 for Verona in the loss for Hellas Verona, that is. Inter Milan versus Genoa at the San Siro. And Inter Milan, all those questions I just asked about them, you can throw them out in this round one, because everything went well for the Nerazzurri in this one. Let's look at what Inzaghi put out there as his starting lineup. Okay, Inter goes with Samir Handanovic in goal, of course. 3 in the back, 3-5-1-1 their formation. Milan Skriniar is the right center back. Stefan De Vrij, the center back, with Alessandro Bastoni as the left center back. The wing backs, Matteo Darmian down to the right and Ivan Perisic down the left. The 3 in central midfield, Marcelo Brozovic partnered with Nicolo Barella and Hakan Kagleanu. Stefano Sensi plays in the 10 role behind Edin Dzeko, the man that's expected to make everybody forget Romelu Lukaku. Edin Dzeko gets off to a good start. He has one in this one. The goals come from Skriniar in the 6th, Kalyanoglu in the 14th, Arturo Vidal off the bench in the 77th. Remember Arturo Vidal? And Edin Dzeko in the 87th. Inter win 4-0 to start off their new season. Empoli host Lazio, and this one goes to the side from the capital. That's right, the Sky Blues win to start the season. Goals from Milinkovic, Savic in the 6th, Lazzari in the 31st, and Ciro the hero, Ciro Immobile from the penalty spot in the 41st. Bandelli, however, got Empoli off to a brilliant start, scoring in the 4th. Empoli actually led for 2 minutes before Milinkovic, Savic drew level 2 minutes later. Man of the match in this one was Sergej Milinkovic, Savic for Lazio. The Eagles take all 3 points away at Empoli. Torino hosting Atalanta. This is a side everybody loves. Atalanta. There is every football analytics guru, every football purist, every football romantic loves this Atalanta club, and the way Gasparini, their manager, has been managing them. And they get off to a good start on the road against Torino. Of course, it was only 6 minutes in when Luis Muriel, the Colombian, gets Atalanta on the lead in the 6th minute. 1-0 to the side from Bergamo. However, Belotti would make it 1-1 in the 79th, and it looked like Torino were going to take a point, but in the 90th, +3, that's when it would be decided, and none other than Roberto Piccoli would come in off a ball from Mario Pasalic, and Atalanta take all 3 points in stoppage time, and they will go home happy against their fellow northern side, Torino. And that closed out the action from Saturday. We move to Sunday. Bologna win 3-2 over newly promoted Salernitana, and Udinese and Juventus. This is the one we were talking about a little bit. The big shockwaves that come out in the lead up to the match was that Cristiano Ronaldo starts on the bench, not due to a lack of fitness, but the report was, and this maybe I got to rewind a little bit. On Friday, in the presser, on Friday in the presser, Massimo Allegri said that Cristiano Ronaldo has told him personally that he's staying at Juventus, that he is committed to Juventus, and we're told, and I've said that since the beginning, that I thought he's staying. I don't see anybody coming to get him at this point. He has a year left. I think he plays out the year and he goes on a free at the end of the season, or even if things go well, he might even stay. Who knows? For less money. Who knows what he's going to do? There's a number of possibilities. I'm going to still remain true. When I had Leo on this show a week ago, the original idea was that we were going to discuss this theory that I said to him and he had said to somebody else kind of at the same time. It was the same light bulb went off in our heads when Messi signed with Paris Saint-Germain. And I said, is it just me, or is Paris Saint-Germain setting themselves up to put Messi and Ronaldo on the same team? We both said that, but then nobody talked about it. Everyone dismissed it like it was an impossibility. I reached out to a couple people I know that have a little more inside knowledge than I do on things like FIFA fair play and contract negotiations and agent fees and things like I know a couple of licensed FIFA agents. I reached out to them. I didn't get a response. Maybe it's something they can't talk about. I don't know. Maybe they didn't ever saw my message. But I didn't have enough information to go with to have that conversation that night. But I could see him going to Paris Saint-Germain, and I could see Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar all on the same team. And it'll be it'll be the New York Cosmos of 2021, if you want. And I mean the old New York Cosmos of Canalia, Pelé, and Beckenbauer, Carlos Alberto and company. Okay, it's PSG very much maybe building the blocks to put themselves in position to do that and to go for it now in these next 2 years. But we'll have to wait and see. But in this one, it comes out a couple hours before the game that Ronaldo is going to start on the bench, and that Ronaldo specifically requested to start on the bench. Now, this story has been twisted since, and Allegri has backtracked and said, oh, no, it was my decision, after saying, no, it was the player's decision. I don't know what to believe. I can think of a couple different things because I have a little bit of insight into what might be going on, and he might have gotten a lead. Okay, he might have gotten a word from Jorge Mendes that says, hey, listen, Mbappe's might be going to Madrid, which opens the door for you to go to Paris. Maybe you might want to sit this one out today. Maybe you want to maintain your fitness. You would derail the whole thing with an injury today. It's possible. I'm being honest to you guys. That conversation happens all the time when the transfer window is open. Okay, the open transfer window while matches are going on is the most destabilizing thing that happens in football. And I really think that a message like that came in that day. Men's got word of something, or even had been personally told by somebody, hey, keep your guy ready because this may go down, which opens the door for that. It's business, So that may have happened. It also may have been that, again, remember last year at the end of the season when Pirlo wanted to bench Ronaldo and try to win without him and qualify without him for some reason. And maybe Allegri doesn't want to rely on him until the transfer window closes. I can totally relate to that as a manager. Maybe he doesn't want to start getting in the habit of playing it to him, and then on the 11th hour, on the final night of the transfer window, At 11:59 p.m., before the clock strikes midnight and the window closes, he's off to Paris. So it's possible that Allegri may want to wait until the window is closed to include him. Whatever the truth is, Ronaldo does not start. Okay, I'll give you Udinese's lineup first for their manager Luca Gotti, and they're playing at home. Of course, these two teams with identical kits, the black and white vertical stripes. Marco Silvestri is the goalkeeper in a 3-5-1-1. Rodrigo Becao is the right center back. Bram Nuychink is the deep-lying center back, and he wears the captain's armband, while Samir is the left central defender. The wingbacks, Nahuel Molina down the right, and Idioma Odugi down the left. In the center, you have Wallace anchoring with Tugle Arslan to his right and Jean Victor Makengo to his left. Roberto Pereira is playing in the number 10 position behind the striker Ignacio Pusetto. The starting 11 for Massimo Allegri in his official return to Juventus, his re-debut, if you will. 4-4-2, old school. Juventus just does not play anything else. Frustrating if you are a Juventus fan. I think, although many Juventus fans want to see the same thing they've been seeing for years and years and years. I think they got to be more creative. To be honest, I think this 4-4-2 with two straight lines of four is an outdated system, especially to play from the start. If you're playing for a draw, if you're playing to hold a result and look for a counter, it makes more sense. If you're Juventus looking to win the game, looking to get yourself back to the Scudetto, having lost your first in a decade last season, I think you need a much more dynamic system of play than this. But this is where Allegri goes. And Szczesny is in goal, and did he have one horrible night in goal, the Polish international. Danilo's the right back, Matthias de Ligt, and Leonardo Bonucci, the center back, pairing Alessandro, the left-sided defender. The four in midfield, Rodrigo Betancourt and Aaron Ramsey are the pair in the center, with Juan Cuadrado to the right and Federico Bernardeschi to the left. And up front, Alvaro Morata starts with Paulo Dybala. Also noticeable in his absence, in addition to look at the players Allegri left on the bench in this match. And I'm gonna already it took one match for me to start criticizing Allegri and his choices, because he left too much talent on the bench and even in the stands in this one. Giorgio Chiellini, Cristiano Ronaldo, Dejan Kuloverski, Federico Chiesa, Manuel Locatelli, all on the bench. All on the bench. Can you believe Caio Jorge, the new signing from Santos in Brazil, on the bench? Not even on the bench. It says here he's suspended was Weston McKennie. Injured is Adrian Rabiot. But why is Chiesa not in your 11 all the time? Did you not learn anything all summer, Allegri? Did you not see what Roberto Mancini had to figure out the hard way, that he needs to start Chiesa? Chiesa, over the course of Euro 2020, became one of the, if not the, most important players in the Italian team. And now you're going to put him on the bench in Juventus and bring him on in the 74th. 15 minutes for a player of that caliber. I know you've got Europa League, you got Champions League qualifying midweek. Still, you lost 2 points here, Allegri, already on the first day because of whatever reason. And remove Cristiano Ronaldo from the argument, okay? Even if you didn't start him, and you sat him, Chiesa, Locatelli, Kulusevski, all on the bench. You couldn't have started two out of those four guys couldn't have started, and you'd have a better team. Well, Allegri got what he deserved. Juventus do get out to a good start. However, Dybala scores in the 3rd minute. Cuadrado doubles the lead in the 23rd, and I think they went into cruise control at that moment. But things start to turn, and then we get a pen. We get a pen in the 51st minute, and it all comes from an absolute debacle from Szczesny, who makes a horrible mistake, makes a horrible mess of a ball. and ends up being forced to take down Pusetto in the box. And we get Roberto Pereira stepping up, and he cuts the lead in half from the spot. And in the 83rd minute, on comes Cristiano Ronaldo, we should say. He is subbed on here, and I'll give you the exact minutes that he is subbed on. Cristiano Ronaldo, Federico Chiesa, Cristiano Ronaldo, Giorgio Chiellini, and Dejan Kulusevski come in the 60th minute. Federico Chiesa comes in only in the 74th, replacing Juan Cuadrado at that time. And after those substitutions were made, it's always harder to regain the rhythm. You can introduce players, sure, but with 7 minutes to play, it is Udinese's substitute, Duefolo, who finds the back of the net on another absolute poo-poo by Chesney. I mean, he's got the ball at his feet, and he gives it away. He kicks it off a player into his own goal, essentially. 2-2. Ronaldo looked to have won the match in the 90th minute as he gets himself on the end of a nice cross from Chiesa in the 90th plus 4. After some VAR review, it was ruled offside. However, the celebration and the removing the shirt and the celebration still sees Ronaldo get booked. I think that's comical. If the goal doesn't count, the celebration shouldn't count. That yellow card should have been rescinded. Had he committed a foul and on a player who had been offside, and the VAR review found that the player was offside, the foul, no matter how hideous it was, would have had a card be rescinded. But for a celebration, nope, gotta lay the law down. Juventus dropped 2 points in front of 9,660 in Udine. Furthermore, on Sunday, I know we're going a little bit long on this Serie A segment. Napoli with their new manager, they take on Venezia. Luciano Spalletti, the new manager at Napoli, they take on Venezia. Venezia's side, who now feature young American Gianluca. It's Gianluca. He didn't even make the game day roster. Now that I meant Busio, that's the name. Gianluca Busio, who was picked up by Venezia in the offseason from Sporting Kansas City. He may be staying at Sporting Kansas City until the end of the season. I'm not 100% sure of that. But anyhow, it is Napoli coming out with these 11 for Luciano Spalletti. Alex Mare is the goalkeeper. 4-2-3-1 is their formation. Giovanni Di Lorenzo, the Italy national team player, starts at right back. Konstantinos Manola is the center back, along with Kalidou Koulibaly and Portuguese Mario Rui, the left back. Double pivot in midfield. Stanislav Lobotka partners with Fabian, while Matteo Politano, Peter Zielinski, and Lorenzo Insigne, the captain, lead the attacking midfield behind the striker, Victor Osimhen. Osimhen would be sent off in this one. You'd get a goal from Insigne from the penalty spot and another one from the substitute Elmas. Napoli win 2-0 at the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. And then Jose Mourinho's debut, or re-debut in Serie A, if you will, but his debut ahead of the Giallorossi Roma. And it gets off to a great start for the special one as Roma beat Fiorentina 3-1. Here's the 11 that Mourinho put out for the Giallorossi as Portugal goalkeeper Rui Patricio debuts for Roma in goal. Rick Karsdorp is the right back. Gianluca Mancini and Roger Ibanez, the center backs. Matias Vinha is the left back, and he, of course, is the Uruguayan who was signed, and he was brought in this offseason from Palmeiras, another key player to come out of that Brazilian side, Palmeiras, weakening that club a little bit, the Libertadores champions, and they've been struggling. You can see why. Some of their players are starting to head overseas. Matias Vinha right into the starting lineup, a great signing by Jose Mourinho. Double pivot in midfield, Jordan Verreto, the Frenchman, partners with Italy international Brian Cristante. three attacking midfielders in front of him: Nicolo Zaniolo, Lorenzo Pellegrini, and Enric Mkhitaryan. Playing behind the English striker Tammy Abraham, the big signing who joined from Chelsea very, very recently. For Fiorentina and for Vincenzo Italiano, the goalkeeper is Bartolomei Drakowski. He had a very short day. He was sent off very early for a poor challenge when he came out feet first. I know it was the minimalist of contact, but it did prevent a clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity. The COGSO, we hear that acronym all the time. COGSO, clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity, automatic red card. VAR confirms, and Drakowski played only a matter of minutes in this one, as Fiorentina played much of the match with 10 men. Lorenzo Venuti is the right back. Nikola Milinkovic and Igor are the center back pair, with Cristiano Berardi as the left back and wearing the armband for La Viola. Giacomo Bonaventura. Apologies to my Italian friends there for that butchered pronunciation. He is in midfield on the right side. Eric Pulgar, center, and Josef Malay to his left. The attacking three, Dusan Vlahovic is the striker, Jose Maria Callejon to his right, and Nicolas Gonzalez to his left. So we talked about that. We talked about the sending off of the goalkeeper from Fiorentina early on, and that was in the 17th minute. In the 26th, Enric Mkhitaryan appears to have been offside. Referee calls it offside, however, upon further review, upon looking at the VAR overturns the call on the field, allows the goal, 1-0 to Roma. An assist in the 26th there by Tammy Abraham on his debut. Nicolo Zaniolo receives a needless yellow card in the 44th. Keep that in mind. 45th +3. Giacomo Bonaventura also goes into the book. He, of course, is on the other side playing for Fiorentina. 52nd minute. Yes, it was after halftime was in between, but only 6 minutes of actual play separated these two. It's Nicolo Zaniolo again. Second yellow card. He's off. We're playing 10 versus 10 at that moment. And then Nikola Milinkovic in the 60th gets on the end of a pass from Eric Pulgar. And it's 1-1 all of a sudden. La Viola pull level, and Jose Mourinho must be going crazy inside as his team had everything controlled, and suddenly it's 1-1. But it wouldn't last long. 4 minutes later, the Frenchman Jordan Verretou picks out another pass from Tammy Abraham. Abraham with 2 assists in this one, and he finds the back of the net. It's 2-1 to Roma in the 79th. Verretou would do it again. This time the assist comes from Eldor Shamurdov, and it is 3-1. We see Steven El Shaarawy replace Enric Mkhitaryan for the last 5 minutes, as Carles Perez also replaces Lorenzo Pellegrini. We move through, and in front of I think it was about a 33% capacity crowd at the Stadio Olimpico. I don't have the official number. Jose Mourinho returns to Italy and returns with a victory. 3-1 to the Giallo Rossi. So, after one round of play, 8 teams picked up wins and share first place right now. Inter, Lazio, Roma, Napoli, Bologna, Sassuolo, Atalanta, Milan are the 8 with victories. Cagliari, Juventus, Spezia, and Udinese with 1 point each, taking places 9 to 12. And then Hellas Verona, Salernitana, Torino, Sampdoria, Empoli, Fiorentina, Venezia, and Genoa are the teams with no points. That's where it stands right now in Italy. Let's move to Spain. Let's keep this show going. Let's keep moving. La Liga. In a match where the Giants begin to lose, in a round where the Giants begin to drop points. Of course, I'm talking about Barcelona and Real Madrid. It was a great weekend if you're a supporter of Atletico Madrid and of Sevilla, as they already, like I said, start to put a little space between them and the two normal Giants and the rest of the pack. The round started Friday, August the 20th, and it was Real Betis at home 1-1 against Cadiz. A disappointing result for Real Betis. They have high hopes. Deportivo Alaves hosts Mallorca, and it is the Islanders who come in And Mallorca win 1-0 on the road at Deportivo Alaves. Espanyol, newly promoted, hosting Villarreal, the Europa League winners and Super Cup finalists, obviously beaten on penalties in the Super Cup by Chelsea. And Espanyol hold La Máquina Amarilla to a nil draw. It is a point each. No goals in that one. Granada hold Valencia to a 1-1 draw. Valencia continuing to struggle. They were hoping to get off to a better start at the start of this season. And then a nice mouth-watering matchup here. Athletic Bilbao hosting Barcelona. Let's look at the lineups in this one. This one, of course, at the San Mims in Pamplona. In Basque country, excuse me. My apologies again on that. In Basque country. And we'll look here at the lineup, starting with the Basque side with Athletic Club Bilbao. Julian Agarzebalda is the goalkeeper. They're playing 4-4-2 old school. Indigo Lecuyi is the right back. Daniel Vivian and Inigo Martinez, the center backs. Mikel Balenciaga, the left back. In midfield, Dani Garcia partners with Unai Bensador and Alex Berenquer and Iker Muniain are the two wide players. Behind the forwards, Inaki Williams and Oyahan Sanse. For Barcelona, for Ronald Koeman, Neto again gets the start in goal. American Serginho Dest once again gets the start at right back. The center back pairing is Gerard Piqué and Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia gets his marching orders in this one as he picks up 2 yellow cards. Jordi Alba starts at left back. Sergio Busquets is in the hole at the number 6 position in a 4-3-3. And he's also the captain. Frankie de Jong to his right. Pedri to his left. And in the attack, it is none other than Memphis Depay. We talk about him all the time. He's wearing the number 9 jersey. And it is Memphis Depay partnering with Antoine Griezmann and Martin Braithwaite. And we just said that. Barcelona's goal comes from Memphis Depay in the 75th. That's to rescue a point because they were losing at the moment. Because Martinez had scored for Athletic Club. Inigo Martinez had scored in the 50th for Athletic Bilbao. And a share of the spoils to each. Barcelona dropped their first points of 2021-2022. Moving to Sunday, Real Sociedad 1, Rayo Vallecano 0. Atletico Madrid versus Elche at the Wanda Metropolitano. And a lot of news and there's a lot of rumor around this Atletico Madrid side. You've got talks of players coming in, the likes of Bernardo Silva possibly coming in. You got talks of players leaving, the likes of Saul Niguez. Manchester City linked with Saul. And this is a hectic part of the season. When the transfer window is open, like I said, it's incredibly hectic. And it is a nightmare for a manager, to be honest. You don't know what player you're going to have from today to tomorrow. Elche on their opponents would start in a 5-3-2. So this is always going to be a tough matchup for Atleti. Francisco Casilla is the goalkeeper. They're 5 across the back. I'm just going to go from right to left. Helibelton, Enzo Rocco, Gonzalo, Pedro Villegas, Johan Mojica. Across the back. Then you have in midfield Ivan Marcone in central, Raul Guti to the right, and Fidel Chavez to the left. Lucas Boye and Pere Mija are the 2 strikers. So back to Barcelona here. Back to Atletico Madrid. I got an Atleti jersey right behind me, and I just called them Barcelona. My apologies there. I had a momentary lapse. Maybe a Biden moment. I don't know. Jan Oblak is the starting goalie in, Simeone's beloved 4-4-2 that drives me absolutely insane, as I've already said. Even more so when Atleti do it. Oblak's the goalkeeper, the 4 across the back. Marcos Llorente is the right back. Stefan Savic and Jose Jimenez are the center backs. Saul Niguez, the left back in this one. In midfield, Jeffrey Kondogbia partners with Koke, while Rodrigo De Paul and Thomas Lamar play down the flanks. Up front, Yannick Carrasco starts with Angel Correa, and it is him again. That's right. Angel Correa with his 3rd of the season. If I'm not mistaken, he has all of Atleti's goals thus far. Atleti win 1-0 at home to Elche. They've got 6 points, and they solidify themselves and put distance between themselves and Barcelona and Their cross-city rivals, Real Madrid. That's because Real Madrid on the road at Levante drop 2 points. Here is Real Madrid's lineup that faced Levante for their new manager, Carlo Ancelotti. Thibaut Courtois starts in goal. They're playing 4-3-3. Lucas Vázquez, Eder Militão, Nacho Fernandez, and David Alaba, the four across the back. In midfield, Casemiro is the holding midfielder with Federico Valverde to his right and Isco to his left. In the attack, it is Karim Benzema, the captain, as the striker. Gareth Bale to his right, Eden Hazard to his left. And we get goals from Bale and from the substitute Vinicius Jr. in this one. It's Real who get off the mark first. They get out of the blocks first. They score in the 5th minute, and it is the aforementioned Gareth Bale putting Los Blancos in the lead. In the 46th, Roger would level for Levante. In the 57th, Campana would put Levante ahead 2-1. Fast forward to the 73rd, and the substitute Vinicius Jr., the former Flamengo player, will level it for Real Madrid for Los Blancos. It is 2-2 in the 73rd, and then in the 79th, Robert would put Levante back ahead 3-2, looking like Real Madrid were going to lose all 3 points, but in the 85th, Vinicius Jr. comes through to rescue a point. Real Madrid 3, Levante 3. 2 games on Monday in La Liga. Getafe hosts Sevilla. Sevilla go in. And like I said last week, Sevilla, this is a year they have to be laser focused on their La Liga campaign. They have to focus solely on the league. This is their best opportunity they maybe ever had to win La Liga. All right, here's the 11 that came out for Sevilla in this one. But their manager, Julian Lopetegui. Bonu is in goal. 4-3-3 is their formation. The captain, Jesus Navas, the right back. Jules Cayunde and Diego Carlos are the center back pairing with Marcos Acuna, the former Sporting Lisbon player, as the left back. In midfield, Fernando is the holding midfielder with Joan Jordan to his right and Oscar Rodriguez to his left. Youssef El Nesri, the striker. Suso to his right and Alejandro Gomez to his left. This match was decided in the latest of moments. Off the bench, Eric Lamela in the 90th +3 would give the victory to the Andalusian side. Sevilla take all 3 points. They save it for late, but they get all 3. And as a result, on goal difference, they are the leaders right now in La Liga. Sevilla and Atleti with 6 points. And then 4 teams with 4 points. That's Real Madrid, Barcelona, Mallorca, and Valencia. Real Sociedad have 3 and 7th. And then Levante, Cadiz, Real Betis, Athletic Bilbao, Granada, Espanyol, Osasuna, and Villarreal all have 2 points, while Celta Vigo, Celta Vigo and Elche have 1 point. And in the relegation zone, in the drop zone, 18th right now, Getafe. 19th is Deportivo Alaves, and in 20th is Rayo Vallecano. The 3 of them have 0 points. Okay, quick break. Won't be long. On the other side, we're going to go to the Premier League. Okay, this is Parking the Bus, episode 73 here on the PTB Media Network. Welcome back to Parking the Bus, episode 73. We move now and we park it in Britain. We park it in England. Premier League, round number 2. All right, we're going to fly through these next 3 leagues. We're going to fly through the Premier League, the Bundesliga, and the Liga now as time is winding down here. So we started off Saturday. Liverpool 2, Burnley 0. The Reds pick up 3 points. Aston Villa 2, Newcastle 0. Struggles continue for the black and white stripes, for the Geordies. They continue to dream of better days, if you will. Be interesting to see where Newcastle is in a month's time. And it'll be interesting to see if they can find some kind of form here. In London, it's Crystal Palace versus Brentford. And the promoted side pick up a point again. Brentford able to go on the road and get a point. 0-0 the final result. As this start of the season not going well for Patrick Vieira in front of Crystal Palace, the new side, his new side. We can look at this real quick here. And, I mean, Conor Gallagher gets the man of the match here for Crystal Palace, but there's a whole lot of cards, not a whole lot of football, of course, not a whole lot of goals being scored, few opportunities. It ends 0-0 between Palace and Brentford after a nearly fought contest. The chance of the game arrived within the first 10 minutes, and that was for when Zaha slipped Gallagher in behind before the midfielder cracked a shot against the underside of the bar. From there, the game became a lot tighter. Brentford just shaded for the first half, but Mbeumo and Tony spurned opportunities in the second, and Brentford were in control but failed to create any clear chances. Raya was forced to make one brilliant save from MacArthur's rasping drive on the break. Ultimately, though, the game finishes 0-0, and Patrick Vieira, the new manager at Crystal Palace, has his work cut out for him, while at Brentford, they must be ecstatic. All right. Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds take on Everton, this one is taking place at Ellen Road, in front of 2,843. Not a great crowd, but that tells me there was some restrictions in place for this one. Of course, Rafa Benitez is the new manager at Everton, and the first goal of the game does go to Everton. It goes to Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the 30th minute from the penalty spot, but Leeds will pull level in the 41st. Thanks to Mateusz Klich, it's 1-1. Demarai Gray would make it 2-1 again for the Toffees in the 50th on an assist from Abdoulaye Doucouré. And Everton looking to push for a victory here and try to pick up 3 points. But the home side would pull level in the 72nd. Former Vitória Guimarães and Sporting midfielder Rafinha, the Brazilian, picks up the equalizer on an assist from Leon Cooper. It ends 2-2 between Leeds and Everton. Manchester City take out their current frustrations on Norwich City. The EFL Championship champions rudely welcomed back to the Premiership as the Premier League champions at home pound them 5-0. This is at the city of Manchester, or the Emirates Stadium, as it's now known. Goals from it starts with an own goal from Krul, and then Grealish, Laporte, Sterling, and Mahrez would add goals throughout the match. A quick look at the 11 for City. Ederson in goal, 4-3-3. Kyle Walker, Ruben Dias, Laporte, and João Cancelo, the 4 across the back. Rodri, Bernardo Silva, and Ilkay Gundogan in midfield with Fernan Torres as the striker once again. Gabriel Jesus with the man of the match performance to his right, and Jack Grealish to his left. Not much to say about this. Pep's team comes out, gets goals from Sterling and Mahrez off the bench. And again, another team with one heck of a bench here. Sterling, Mahrez, Zinchenko, Fernandinho, and Benjamin Mendy all on the bench here. For the Citizens, 3 easy points, making up for their defeat 1 week ago to Spurs. Brighton, Hove Albion pick up 3 points at home in a 2-0 victory over Watford. Brighton get goals from Duffy and from Maupai, and it is 3 points to Brighton. Southampton, Man United, Sunday, early on in the first one, and I kind of felt validated by this. just in time to slow the hype train on Manchester United after their resounding 5-1 victory to open the season a week ago against Leeds. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shows he's still got much to learn as a manager, in my opinion. And again, until I'm proved otherwise, this United team are pretenders for me. And I wish I were wrong about it. I want to like Manchester United, and I still can't seem to do it. We'll look quickly at who Ole put out there to play this match. The last time they played Southampton, they beat them 9-0. This time, it's a 1-1 draw. They played in a 4-2-3-1. De Gea, the goalkeeper, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw, the four in the back. Matic and Fred would partner up in midfield, the attacking midfielders. In front of them, Bruno Fernandes central, Paul Pogba to his left, Mason Greenwood to his right, Anthony Martial, the striker. You can't do any better than that, Ole. Seriously? You can't put anything better than that? Let's look at the bench that he left out. Jadon Sancho, you only paid a fortune for him. Yeah, give him a half hour. Scott McTominay, Jesse Lingard off the bench for a whopping 4 minutes. Rafael Varane on the bench, perhaps not ready to play. Diogo Dalot back from loan from AC Milan, and he is in a spot he might as well get comfortable with and engrave his name on that seat on the bench. Diogo Dalot on the bench. I don't see him playing over Wan-Bissaka at any point for this manager. Donny van der Beek, Juan Mata, and Daniel James all on the bench. Here's the injury list at United. This thing is this a list or is this a novel? Here are the Alex Telles is injured. Ahmad injured. Anthony Ilanga injured. Dean Henderson injured. Edison Cavani, personal reasons. Eric Bailly, personal reasons. Marcus Rashford injured. And Phil Jones injured. Sounds like they're running a real good train over there. At Old Trafford, it's much of the same if you ask me. At the Molineux, Wolves hosting Tottenham. Harry Kane gets on the pitch in this one for Tottenham, and it would be Dele Alli from the spot that would decide it. Tough break in the 9th minute. Bruno Lage, 0-2 now. My favorite manager in world football, or at least the one I'm most interested in watching, the one whose story I want to see fulfilled. He's off to 2 losses in England. Not the start he wanted or anyone else wanted for him at Wolves, but again, it's a long 38 matches is a long time. New manager, new country, a lot of turnover in the side. It sounds like Traore is on his way out. I know they just rejected a bid for him, but it's only a matter of time, from what I understand, before a few more dollars or a few more pounds are added to that bid, and it'll be accepted. And Adama Traore will no longer be a member of Wolves. Raul Jimenez just working his way back. I think there's still a lot of upside in this Wolves side, but well done to Tottenham and to Nuno Espírito Santo and Spurs. 2 victories from 2 matches. And then Chelsea go into the Emirates and beat Arsenal. Everybody can go into the Emirates and beat Arsenal. Nothing special there. We said we'd talk about him. 1 goal comes from Romelu Lukaku. Let's look at the lineup quickly. We won't worry about Arsenal because nobody cares about their lineup right now. Edouard Mendy, the goalkeeper for Chelsea. Azpilicueta, Christensen, and Rudiger are the 3 center backs. Reece James and Marcos Alonso, the wing backs. Jorginho and Mateo Kovacic as the double pivot in midfield. Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, the attacking midfielders behind the striker, Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku gets on the board and reopens his scoring account with Chelsea all these years later in the 15th minute. Reece James adds one in the 35th. And it's just a typical Arsenal performance here at home. This is what Arsenal have become. And they have 0 points after 2 matches. Monday's match, West Ham at the London Stadium. Surprising thumping of Leicester as they get goals from Fornals, Ben Harama, and 2 from Antonio as West Ham win 4-1 over Leicester City. Tielemans would add 1. For the Foxes, but too little, too late, obviously, and a good start to the season for West Ham. Quick look at the table. West Ham are the leaders. We've got 5 teams with 6 points right now. West Ham atop on goal difference and then on goals scored. Then Chelsea and Liverpool right behind them, both with 5 goals for and none allowed. Brighton, ladies and gentlemen, in 4th right now with 6 points, and Tottenham 5th with 6 points. Manchester United, that is, Everton, Brentford with 4 points each, all 3 of them, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Then City, Villa, Watford, and Leicester with 3. Southampton, Crystal Palace, Leeds with 1. And then you got Wolves, Burnley, Newcastle, Arsenal, and Norwich with no points. Moving on to Germany now and to the Bundesliga. Let's take a look at how this round went down. Round 2 once again, just as it was in England. And right off the bat, it is Jesse Marsch picking up his first victory as a manager in the Bundesliga. RB Leipzig 4-0 winners on Friday over VfB Stuttgart. Goals from Szoboszlai, 2 of them from Szoboszlai, 1 from Forsberg, and then Andres Silva adds a penalty as he scores his first for RB Leipzig. 3 points to the side that I've got big hopes for this season. Bochum 2, Mainz 0, Frankfurt 0, Augsburg 0, Freiburg 2, Dortmund 1. Marcos Rosa already dropping 3 points in round 2. Freiburg with a big victory over Dortmund. Greuther Fürth 1, Arminia Bielefeld 1, Hertha Berlin 1, Wolfsburg 2. Wolfsburg, as listeners of my Mr. Benfica podcast will know, signing Luka Waldschmidt. Yeah, Wolfsburg signing Luka Waldschmidt for 13 million, 5 million under his market value. That's a good bit of business for Wolfsburg. Bayern Leverkusen 4, Borussia Mönchengladbach 0. That was the Bundesliga this week. Oh, that was Saturday's matches in the Bundesliga, I should say. Looking at Sundays, you've got Offenheim 2, Union Berlin 2, and then Bayern Munich pulling out a 3-2 victory over Cologne. We look at the table now. Wolfsburg are top of the table. They're the only team with 6 points after 2 rounds. Congratulations to them, as they're the only team to win both of their opening matches. Hoffenheim, Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, and Freiburg with 4. And then starting in 6 is a whole slew of teams with 3 points. It's RB Leipzig, Dortmund, Cologne, Bochum, Stuttgart, Mainz. They all have 3 points. 12th place right now is Union Berlin with 2, as does Arminia Bielefeld. And then you have Frankfurt, Greuther Fürth, Mönchengladbach, and Augsburg with 1, and then Hertha Berlin, the only team so far with 0 points. Lastly, we move to France, and we get the French Ligue 1, and even though Messi and Neymar can't be bothered to start playing anytime soon, still on holiday, I suppose. You have PSG just coasting in France, and in here I have the fixtures here. So we go back to this round in France. It started Friday night in Brest, as Brest hosted PSG. Paris Saint-Germain 4, Brest 2. I got about 1 minute left, so I'm going to fly through this. Lens 2, Monaco 0. Saint-Etienne 1, Lille 1. The defending champions just absolutely struggling out of the gates. Lyon 3, Clermont Foot 3, Bordeaux 1, Angers 1, Metz 1, Reims 1, Montpellier 3, Lorient 1, Strasbourg 1, Troyes 1, Rennes 1, Nantes 0, and Nice. I've run out of time. I'm not going to have a chance to talk about this, but Nice and Marseille abandoned. Supporters rushing the field, attacking Marseille players. And, just Google it. If I have the opportunity at some point, I'm sure I will give my opinion a little bit deeper. I'll do some more research and speak more educated on what exactly went down. I just know the match was abandoned. Fans rushed the pitch, and there was violence. Be interesting to see what the league does as far as the result of this match and what will happen. Okay, we are all out of time here for this episode 73. Parking the Bus. This has been the Mr. Mike Agustino here with you. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter at Mike Agustino. That's at MikeAgostino, and follow the show at PTB_media. I'll see you next time. There's more common content's coming out throughout the week, so enjoy it here. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, you name it, it's all there. Thank you, and I'll catch you next time here on the PTB.